Hey, Judge Evans here. Today I want to talk about parental responsibility. This is a concept that I see people having trouble with in court, and it really should not be that big of a deal. It's quite simple. What I want my students to remember is that parental responsibility is decision making. It's all done in your head. It's all mental. And it's things like making decisions on behalf of the children, like where's little Johnny going to go to elementary school? So I call up my ex-spouse and I say, gee, I think little Johnny should go to ABC Elementary. And he says, okay, I agree. So now we know we didn't have to do anything physical except I dialed the phone. We made up our minds and we made a decision on behalf of our child. That's parental responsibility. Decision making, mental, all done up here. No movement required except dial the phone maybe. Or maybe send an email. Okay, let's not get too literal. Anyway, the question is for the court, well, what kind of parental responsibility am I going to award? The statute directs me to start with the idea that shared parental responsibility is in the best interest of the children. Now, in case I said that quickly, which sometimes I do, shared parental responsibility. Well, what the heck is that? Here's a shocker. It's shared. The two of you make the decision. Both parents make the decision on behalf of their children. Because if you're acting rationally, you should be able to make these decisions on behalf of your children. Why? Because you know your children. I don't. Okay, so shared parental responsibility says we're going to get together, either call, email, text, whatever, and we're going to make a decision on behalf of little Johnny. And neither of us has any greater say than the other. Period. Shared parental responsibility is exactly what it sounds like. We both have a say in the decision making, and we are going to come up with a resolution on our own together. That's shared parental responsibility. Well, what if you have a situation where maybe the two parties don't exactly get along? I know, shocking that there would be litigation and the parties don't get along. I know. So what happens? What if they just can't stand each other? And one says white, one says black, one says peanut butter, one says jelly, one says night, one says day. Sometimes people will do that just to spite the other side. Well, that's not good for children. So if this is a situation where I see that two people cannot agree on whether water is wet, well, they're not going to be able to make shared decisions on behalf of their child. Somebody is going to have to be the tiebreaker. That is still shared parental responsibility, but one person gets ultimate decision making over whatever area. Health, education, for example. And these are major decisions, let me say. This is not, well, what should I have little Johnny wear to school tomorrow? No, no, no. That's not a major decision. Or I'm going to require little Johnny to eat vegetables at my house. Good for you, but okay, that's your business. That's just a day-to-day parenting decision. I'm talking about major decisions. Where's the child going to go to school? What pediatrician are we going to use? Does a child need non-emergency medical care, like an appendicitis operation, appendix operation, or do they need braces? Major decisions. So shared parental responsibility with one person being the tiebreaker is shared with ultimate decision making. Now here's the thing. You still have to get together and discuss whatever the issue is that you need a decision on. So for example, let's go back to little Johnny needing to go to elementary school, and the parents can't decide. Well, they still have to confer. They still have to try to confer and try to come to some agreement before one person says, okay, this is going nowhere. The judge awarded me shared ultimate decision making. I'm making the ultimate decision, because we have to have a decision. The child's got to go to school somewhere. You have to break the impasse somehow. And interestingly, which we'll probably get into this in class, of the 5 different district courts, the 20th Judicial Circuit is under the 2nd District Court of Appeals. They all treat the resolution of these problems a little differently. Some of them say, hey, if the parties can't agree, then they bring the issue to court and the court will decide. Other districts say, nope, you pick a parent to make the decision. Judge, you don't decide where the child's going to go to school. And that surprises people, let me tell you. Sometimes when they come in and say, I want X and I want Y, and I say, I don't get to pick the school. I pick the parent who picks the school. Okay, that's shared with ultimate decision making. Then you get down to sole parental responsibility. And in that case, The parent that is awarded sole parental responsibility doesn't even have to ask the other parent. Not at all. And these sole parental responsibility, these cases, if that's awarded, there's something very serious going on there. For example, maybe one side has substance abuse problems and can't make decisions for himself or herself. And so the court says, okay, look, until you clean your act up, the other person is making all the decisions on behalf of the children. Okay? That's parental responsibility. You got it? Shared. Shared with ultimate or sole. See you in class.